Good evening, everyone. I'm Lisa Gilmore, Mayor of the City of Santa Clara. Welcome to the State of the 10th District Address and Awards Ceremony. Tonight, it's my honor to introduce State Senator Bob Wieckowski. Senator Wieckowski is serving his second term in the State Senate. The 10th District stretches from southern Alameda County all the way into parts of Santa Clara County. Senator Wieckowski is chair of the Budget and Fiscal Review Subcommittee 2 on Resources, Environmental Protection, Energy, and Transportation. Sorry, I'm hearing the recording in progress. Okay. In this role, this year, he helped negotiate through the legislature historic investments in zero-emission vehicles, wildfire prevention funding, drought assistance, climate resilience, and sustainable agriculture. He is also a member of the Senate Committee on Appropriations, Budget and Fiscal Review, Environmental Quality, Ethics, Housing, Judiciary, and Transportation. And if you thought I was done, I'm not. And he serves on the Executive Committee of the Council of State Governments West. Senator Wieckowski is a strong voice in the legislature for consumers and low-income earners. He's received the Champions of Justice Award from the East Bay Community Law Center for fighting against abusive debt collectors and oppressive wage garnishments. Statewide organizations have selected him Legislator of the Year, and the California Judges Association awarded him its Scales of Justice Award in recognition of his steadfast support for increased court funding. On behalf of the City of Santa Clara, I would like to extend our deep appreciation for Senator Wieckowski. A graduate of our very own Santa Clara University School of Law, Senator Wieckowski has been a true champion for Santa Clara and for his constituents. We are grateful for his diligence and hard work in public service, especially his support for our city. I would like to thank Senator Wieckowski for inviting me to join you all today as he reports on the 10th District's accomplishments and the progress in our community. With that, it's my great pleasure to welcome you to Senator Wieckowski's 10th Senate District Address and Award Ceremony. Senator, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mayor Gilmore, for that rousing introduction. I enjoy working with you and the rest of the Santa Clara City Council. And we've recently celebrated two great achievements: the opening of two schools on the Agnew site, the Abram Agnew Elementary School and the Dolores Huerta Middle School, as well as the groundbreaking of the Agri-Hood mixed-use development. Great things are continuing to happen in Santa Clara. And thank you again for all your hard work and your partnership with my office over the years.
Yes.
Also at this time, I'd like to recognize the many elected officials from my district and representatives from the county supervisors, assembly members, and Congress members. You see them there. Okay, I've lost my script. Huh. What happened here? I got bingo. Okay, so welcome everybody with that little stumble to the State of the District Address and Award Ceremony. Tonight, in addition to an update on the legislative actions of 2021, I will be joined by Santa Clara County Supervisor Otto and Hayward Mayor Pro Tem Aisha Wahab to recognize and honor some of the members of our community who have done a terrific job here, including first responders of the 10th Senate District. But first, I want to update you on the extraordinary accomplishments that we've had in 2021 and the many challenges we still face. This truly is a historic year. We had an insurrection at the nation's capital. The pandemic continues to spread its deadly virus throughout our country. We rolled out a vaccination to save lives. We are in a serious drought. Now we all have a bomb cyclone about the water rainfall that we had past weekend. We've seen devastating wildfires. We've witnessed the sudden collapse of Afghanistan government. And we just held a costly and wasteful recall election, won by the governor with exactly the same percentage of the vote that he was elected with 3 years ago. All in just the past 10 months. It really is stunning. Now, COVID-19 and our ability to react to it overshadows everything we're doing. The disastrous effect of COVID have resulted in the deaths of more than 70,000 Californians. People throughout our state are enduring economic hardship due to the closures that were put in place to stop the spread of the virus. So many small businesses have closed for good. In every period of economic distress, people look for somebody to blame. And these days are no different. Like many of you, I'm disgusted by the hatred that we've seen towards the Asian community. And like you, I've joined others to condemn it. Just earlier this week, I spoke at a rally against anti-Semitism. I said it's clear that we're in a period where civility is in our social discourse is taking a backseat to hostility. That's never a really good thing. So what do we do about it? Well, we speak up and we speak out publicly. We call out and condemn hate when we see it, and we support those who are being attacked. You know, our diversity requires an inclusiveness and mutual respect for each other. That's the only way we can truly make our communities thrive, by looking past our differences and embracing the values and causes that we have in common. And we cannot always control what happens to us, but we sure as heck can control how we react to it. As your representative in the Senate these past 7 years, I've been outspoken about my values and the causes I support. After 11 years in the legislature, including 4 in the assembly, my record's pretty well known. I support the underdog. I support those who are struggling to make ends meet, those who are just treading water. I use my background, education, experience to pass policies that give them the break that they're seeking. And I believe in equal opportunity for all, no matter where they come from, what holy power they worship, or who they love. I also recognize the urgent threat to us all when these, excuse me, I lost my place. I understand the long-term goals in a distant future cannot be a substitute for the concerted effort today. One character trait that I value is persistence. I'm not naive to think that once I pass a bill, issues are resolved forever. I know there are too many special interests out there who hire a team of lawyers to search for loopholes. So as I talk about my bills today, you may wonder, didn't he do that before? And the answer is yes. I continue to fight until the other side gets the message. These are the values and causes I'm championing as state responds to COVID-19. Work with your partners across all levels of government to reduce the virus, help those who are hurting the most, create new opportunities, and use our budget resources to confront climate change. So the governor and the legislature have worked together to ramp up supplies to protect public health and provide relief to get us through this crisis. We partnered with all our local cities, our healthcare professionals, and Jesus, sorry guys, and community clinics. We should all be very pleased with how good results are in terms of vaccinations here in the Bay Area. Our region has led the way with Santa Clara having 85% of the residents 12 and older fully vaccinated, and Alameda County, the rate is 94%. We've had one of the lowest positivity rates in the nation, despite being the most populous state. And our death per capita rate is lower than any other large state like New York, New Jersey, Texas, and Florida. And I think we're in a much better shape as a state today than many people were forecasting a year ago. With the help of California voters, we've built up a stable budget reserves over the years within the progressive tax structure. And this year, we've seen increased revenues, bolstered in part by the federal pandemic relief that allowed the legislature to pass the biggest economic stimulus package that we've had in our state's history. Oops, I'm skipping a page here, so forgive me. Earlier in the year, we approved billions of dollars in grants and tax cuts to assist small businesses. I partnered with GoBiz and the Small Business Majority to highlight how to apply for and receive grant funding. In Senate District 10 alone, about 4,500 companies received a total of roughly $50 million in grants. You don't have to pay them back. It's just grants. That early state stimulus package also consisted of $7.6 billion in assistance in the form of fee relief, round one of the Golden State stimulus payments, childcare subsidies, and student aid. Families and businesses that had previously qualified for state programs and federal relief, such as Cal Earned Income Credit, Cal Works, Cal Fresh, state small business grants, and the federal PPP loans all benefited from the stimulus and relief package. We extended the state's eviction moratorium twice, provided direct relief to renters and landlords, invested $3 billion in development and preservation of affordable housing, and $12 billion to combat homelessness. In K through 12 education, we were able to secure a record amount of funding, and per pupil funding for public education is now $21,555. We also made large investments in higher education to improve access and affordability. We approved the largest single-year increases in the middle class scholarship and the Cal Grant programs. We also passed funding for student affordable housing at the community college, UC, and CSU systems. So to address student hunger, we approved the first in the nation universal free meals program, allowing any student who needs breakfast or lunch to get it year round. As the pandemic unfolded, our digital divide became even clearer. To close that divide, we passed a multi-year $6 billion broadband bill to improve infrastructure, especially in rural and low-income areas. And we expanded access to healthcare by removing barriers to Medi-Cal and expanding the eligibility and eliminating that asset test for people with disabilities and seniors. When it comes to climate issues, I helped, as Mayor Gilmore indicated, to lead negotiations in the early action wildfire deal that Governor Brown signed in Oroville, providing over $500 million in early wildfire action. We in all, this year, we invested $1.5 billion in wildfire prevention, which we need to do more. Overall, we did an unprecedented $15 billion climate package, which includes $3.7 billion for climate resiliency, 4.6 in water and drought relief assistance, 1.1 billion in reducing agricultural impacts, 140 million for recycling and a circular economy, and 3.9 billion for zero emission vehicles. Now we're extending the Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund commitment to provide a minimum of 200 million in wildfire funds through fiscal 2028, 2029. And we did is we changed the formula so it comes off the top. So that's could have created an additional 130 million annually for discretionary funding. Now, over 6 years, that totals 780 million extra dollars that the legislature has discretion to spend on other worthy greenhouse gas reducing program. And this is a big win that I fought hard for in the budget. It's a longer term commitment that we have that people can rely on. When it comes to making huge investments across the income spectrum, we're transitioning California into the zero emission vehicles to cut our greenhouse gas emissions from the transportation section. As we all know, transportation here makes up 40% of our emissions. So what we included is $525 million this year for the vehicle rebate program, which is very popular. It ran out of funds earlier this year. It runs out of funds every year. I was adamant throughout the process that these rebates need to be funded to meet the demand of our constituents and to expand the number of ZEVs that are on the road. Our region, the whole Bay Area, greatly benefits from these tax EV purchases and the rebates that are available. We're also investing in zero emission vehicle transit, clean trucks, and ZEV school buses, as well as the charging and fueling stations for the large number of ZEV vehicles that we expect. Now, next Thursday, I'm going to jump on a plane and attend the COP26, which is the UN climate conference in Glasgow, Scotland. As one of California's representatives, this is my 5th COP, I will tell the world and remind the world about the programs that we have here in California and the commitment that we have. I'll continue to assure them that California is on the path to zero and that everyone has to move forward in making a commitment that's measurable to reduce the amount of greenhouse gases that we have. I've also worked to get several local projects into this year's budget. The East Bay Regional Parks District is receiving over $10 million to fund wildfire prevention and to build some resiliency. San Francisco Bay Area Conservancy is getting $5 million. And the Alameda Flood Control District is getting $4 million for the Alameda and Mission Creeks. I worked with Assemblymember Bill Quirk to get $7.2 million to help redesign Mission Boulevard and the I-680 interchange. That money is going to go towards the preliminary engineering and final design so that it'll make it shovel ready. 2.1 million goes to help restore the Stivers nature area. 2 million is going to go for the California Nursery Historic Park. That's in the Niles District in Fremont, and it'll upgrade the visitor center and restore the President's House. 5 million will go to the Math Science Nucleus nonprofit to refurbish their facilities. The nonprofit provides education services to Alameda and Santa Clara County. Recently, the 3rd grade class, they offered a program online and they got like 1,300 recipients. It's just an unbelievable service that's being provided for our community. And remember that what I said about being persistent, thanks to many in the community, many community activists and the efforts of myself, Senator Glazer, and Assemblymember Bear Cahan, we were finally successful in passing a budget bill that protects Tesla Park. This is near Livermore. The money that will be used there in Tesla Park will prohibit off-road vehicle, the site being used for off-road vehicles. It's been a long battle for this preservation. Now, in terms of my own legislative agenda, because of COVID, we're all on a legislative diet of 12 bills. I was fortunate to get 8 bills to the governor and he signed them. Now, throughout my legislative career, I've been keenly focused on consumer protection legislation to rein in abusive debt collecting tactics against primarily low-income Californians, and to balance that playing field between consumers and workers on the one side and large corporations on the other. The governor signed 2 bills in this area that continue this effort. Senate Bill 531 raises the standard around assigned debt, just like we did a couple of years ago with debt that was sold. So now assigned and sold debt are treated the same. A number of legal services providers up and down the state said that the bill was needed to help their clients who were being abused. And again, primarily these are low-income people. Senate Bill 762, this is a follow-up of a bill I had with Senator Hertzberg, SB 707 in 2019. Now, listen to this. This bill will ensure that arbitration companies' cozy relationships with their corporate clients do not result in the stalling of arbitration hearings or the processing of the arbitration hearing for consumers and employees, and prohibiting them from being able to proceed to court when their fees are not paid by the companies. So what happens is employment arbitration agreements have become so ubiquitous, they prevent workers from having their day in court. Over the years, corporations began delaying and stalling these arbitration cases too. So a worker can't go to court and they can't get their disputes settled in the arbitration because the corporations were taking advantage of this stalling process. So Senate Bill 707 and 762 together take away these stalling techniques so that workers and consumers can have their cases heard in a timely manner. Now, another bill that I was working on actually became part of the budget deal instead, and that's a long overdue reform of the troubled Department of Toxic Substance Control. Now, these reforms increase the oversight of the of the department and stabilize the funding, which is critical to help the department crack down on polluters and hold them accountable. It also provides more cleanup funds for brownfields, and we're going to be seeing funds as that fund builds up, important work that has to go down there. This is really an important environmental victory that should really bring some stability to the department. As I said, several of these issues I've worked on for years. If I write a bill and I'm not successful on it the first attempt, I'll try again if it's an important issue. And that's why I'm still trying to reform the beverage container recycling program here in California. My Senate Bill 38 has passed the Senate. It's a 2-year process and is now in the Assembly. To put it out there, the bottle recycling system is failing California consumers. About half of the redemption centers have closed across California, and that was even before the pandemic. And the result of this failure is that people don't have a place to bring their bottles. There's more waste going to the landfill. There's fewer jobs, and there's less recycling. Senate Bill 38 will fundamentally reform the bottle deposit system for the better and get the responsibility on the producer by extending the responsibility for that. People are looking for more access and convenience when recycling their beverages based on some of the best practices in other states and around the country. So that's something for everybody in 2021. Now here in the district, my district staff and I have held a number of webinars throughout the year to highlight programs of protection for our constituents. I partner with Assembly members Alex Lee and Bill Quirk on the Golden State Stimulus. State Treasurer Fiona Ma and I highlighted the Cal Savers retirement program that small businesses must sign up to assist their workers in securing their retirement. And we had a very informative Scam Stopper workshop to raise awareness of all the creative ways scammers are trying to rip you off. In addition to that, I invited Wade Crowfoot. He's the state's natural Resources Secretary to tour the Sabercat Trail and learn firsthand about our expansion plans. We were joined by elected officials and staff from the city of Fremont and the East Bay Regional Park District. As I mentioned at the top of the program, we also celebrate 2 milestones in Santa Clara with the opening of Agnew Elementary School and the Dolores Huerta Middle School. Now, Kathleen McDonald High School will be the 3rd school to open on the site of the former Agnew facility. We fought a long battle with the State Department of General Services to let go of that property. Now it is repurposed into state-of-the-art schools. It's a great accomplishment, and I want to thank everyone at the Santa Clara Unified School District and the city of San Jose who helped make it happen. And it was very, very satisfying to finally break ground at the Agri-Hood mixed-use affordable housing project in Santa Clara with you, Mayor Gilmore, and others. In 2016, I passed legislation to keep the project going forward. I also want to take a moment to recognize the 10th Senate District Woman of the Year, Sandra Daly. And Sandra is the owner of Sandy's Cobbler Cups. Because of COVID-19 and our schedules, I was just able to give her the Woman of the Year resolution this week. Congratulations, Sandra. And it was excellent cobbler. And the 10th Senate District's Small Business of the Year is Hayward's U.S. Boba Company. These are the wholesalers. These are the people that manufacture. They make boba right here in Hayward. It was a pleasure to have them up to Sacramento and to recognize them. Now, all of this is accomplished not by Bob Wieckowski, but the hard work of Team Wieckowski. I'm blessed to have a wonderful staff, both here in the district and in Sacramento. And I'm grateful for their commitment to the 10th Senate District and to our state. They are my Chief of Staff, Heather Reciteris, my Legislative Director, Chris Clemens, my Communications Director, Jeff Barbosa, Legislative Aides, April Bird and Carlos Fuentes, and my Scheduler and Office Manager, Grace Leakey. As many of you know, this has been an extremely difficult year because of all the problems associated with the Employment Development Department. My district staff has been usurped by the EDD this year, and they have done an outstanding job to assist constituents all year long under very trying circumstances. And they've done it all on top of their normal roles as district representatives. Thank you very much to my district director, Rocky Fernandez, and my representatives here in the district office, Andre Wara Macapinlac, Tim Orozco, Marion Bronsnan, and Brett Haley. And I am eternally grateful for the love and support of the First Lady of the 10th Senate District, the now Dr. Susan F. Lemke. Representing the 10th District is really the best job I've ever had. I think people have heard me say that. I'm so proud of what we've been able to accomplish together. And as I begin my final year in the state Senate, I want to assure you that I still got fight in me, and all the values that we share together, I'm going to continue those causes and promoting those up in Sacramento. So again, I'm delighted to be part of the state delegation attending the UN climate conference, and I will hopefully bring back encouraging news from the rest of the world. So thank you all, and let us now highlight the terrific contributions made by some of the outstanding community organizations in the 10th district. So every year I recognize some of those organizations and individuals that exemplify our community spirit. Now, some of you may know, and others do their work quietly behind the scenes. I'm excited to honor some of these local heroes tonight. So to introduce our first honoree, I'd like to welcome Santa Clara County Supervisor Otto Lee.
Hi, greetings everyone, and thank you for having me to speak this evening to give this amazing award. I'm Santa Clara County Supervisor Otto Lee, representing District 3, which includes Milpitas, North San Jose, and Senate District 10. I'm honored to present the nonprofit of the year for the Senate District 10 to Fresh Lifelines for Youth. Fresh Lifelines for Youth, or FLY, FLY, was founded in 2000. FLY originally started as a pilot program, but then quickly became an award-winning nonprofit serving San Francisco Bay Area youth impacted by the juvenile justice system. FLY provides programs that connects young people with positive mentors and role models, promoting the understanding of the law and their rights and supporting them to become leaders among the peers in the community. FLY's core program focuses on the law, leadership, training, and mentoring remain the foundation. These programs continue to strengthen by incorporating the best practices for youth development and crime prevention. And they were originally envisioned by youths who are going to spend most of their teenage years, and perhaps some of their lives, entangled in the judicial systems. Fresh Lifelines for Youth serve more than 2,000 youth aged 11 to 24 every year who are at risk of violence and incarceration due to poverty, racism, immigration, discrimination, and other forms of marginalization. And as the state and county work to find systemic ways to support our youth and provide better opportunities, I'm grateful for the work of nonprofits like Fresh Lifelines for Youth. Please join me in recognizing and congratulating the 10th Senate District's Nonprofit of the Year, Fresh Lifelines for Youth. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Supervisor Lee. As FLY's president and CEO, I speak on behalf of the 80+ staff, 200+ volunteers, and as you mentioned, the 2,000+ young people we serve, support, and partner with each year to transform lives, communities, and systems. We deeply appreciate this recognition. Through the past 21 years, FLY's been a champion for tens of thousands of young people in Alameda, Santa Clara, and San Mateo counties who have been impacted by the justice system. Many of the young people we work with now live in communities in District 10. And every day we go to our local schools, juvenile facilities, and other community locations to connect young people to positive mentors and role models, to teach them about the law and their rights, and to support their leadership development. FLY is well known as a youth serving organization, but we are also a justice serving organization. We advocate in our communities and in Sacramento to change the systems of power and systems of thought that focus solely on punishment for youth and ignore their needs, limit their opportunities, or disregard or destroy their potential. So it's a particular honor tonight to receive an award to be nominated by Senator Wieckowski, someone who's been recently named as a champion of justice. We continue to need voices like yours, Senator, in the halls of power to represent young people who are pushed into the pipeline in prison.
Well, that very nice. Ollie, Otto, can you guys pose and smile for a screenshot? Very good. It's now my honor to recognize our community partners of the year. And rather than choose one, I decided to recognize all the fire departments in the district. So first up is the Alameda County Fire Department. Now, some of you might not know that it was formed in 1993 to bring together several smaller departments. There was the Castro Valley Fire, Eden Consolidated Fire Protection District, and the County Fire Patrol. It now has 29 fire stations and 35 companies covering over 500 square miles, providing all risk services to most of the unincorporated Alameda County, as well as the cities of Dublin, Emeryville, Newark, San Leandro, and Union City, as well as our national laboratories and wildland regions. Alameda County Fire also operates the Alameda County Regional Emergency Communication Centers, a vital dispatch and regional communication efforts. I would now like to recognize Alameda County Deputy Chief of Operations, Ryan Nishimoto. Deputy.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and good evening, everyone. Again, thank you to Senator Wieckowski and your team for this recognition. So I got to hold it up here so you can see it. It's kind of hard to do it on Zoom these days, but thank you again. I got to say it's been a challenging 18 months. But I am proud to say our department, we've been able to keep up our regular services and duties and emergency responses. We haven't dropped a beat, and that's despite having multiple wildfire deployments, assisting at various vaccination pods for several months at a time, losing staff at chunks of a time to quarantine and self-isolation mandates. But at the same time, again, like I said, our service levels of the community never stopped. They never slowed down. And again, I'm proud to be part of this department. And again, on behalf of all of the firefighters in Alameda County, dispatchers, fire prevention staff, fleet maintenance personnel, and administrative staff, I'm honored to accept this recognition on their behalf. So thank you again to District 10, Senator Wieckowski, and your team.
Excellent. Now, the Fremont Fire Department utilizes state-of-the-art rolling stock with 11 frontline engines, 2 ladder trucks, and 3 specialty rigs. Working from 11 fire stations, firefighters maintain a cutting-edge paramedic program, a state-certified rescue team, and hazardous materials management for over 1,000 local facilities. They serve as one of 124 metropolitan medical response system cities nationwide in case there's a mass casualty event. Fremont Fire also has an elite special operations task force that provides specialized training and technical support for rescue, hazardous materials, and natural disasters. It's my pleasure to recognize Fremont Fire Chief Curtis Jacobson. Chief Jacobson.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the women and men of the Fremont Fire Department, thank you, Senator Wieckowski. We are very appreciative of this recognition and grateful for all of our community partners who helped make our response to COVID-19 this past year and a half possible. First and foremost, I'd like to thank the Fremont firefighters, Local 1689, led by its current president, Greg Goodall, and past president, Anthony Herrera. The city of Fremont, our city manager's office, and our council for the support that they had for our vaccination and COVID testing sites. Hallis Pharmacy, Jasmine Basrai, her staff and volunteers for mobilizing and helping us out with vaccinations. The Alameda County Public Health Department, Washington Hospital for their partnership of volunteers, Bay Area Community Health, United Ambulance, and a few others. And a special shout out to Hayward Fire Chief Garrett Contreras for getting the ball rolling in the Alameda County area for testing. We were proud to have tested essential service workers from throughout the region and beyond. We thank your office, and I accept this recognition in unity with all of those community partners. Thank you again.
Okay. The Hayward Fire Department provides all hazard environmental response year-round to the residents of Hayward, Fairview, and Five Canyons. Hayward Fire is known for significant innovations, including the South Hayward Firehouse Clinic, which provides full-service primary and preventive care in partnership with Tiburcio Vasquez Health Center. As fire creeps closer to the urban communities in recent years, Hayward Fire launched a no-cost residential chipping program to reduce wildfire fuel and the Know Your Zone emergency preparedness drive to educate residents on their fire and disaster vulnerabilities, to receive alerts, and also how to evacuate safely when emergency strikes. When COVID-19 struck, as the chief indicated, our community, Hayward Fire, found itself resiliently taking on several new unexpected tasks. They stood up to the nation. They stood up the nation's first drive-through test site and served as a key vaccination site in county. I would like to recognize Fire Chief Garrett Contreras, but I just found out that he's been called away on a call. So bravo to the Hayward Fire Department. Let's move on to Milpitas Fires. Their mission is to provide quality and responsive service to the community. In addition to medical and rescue services, hazard response, and enforcement of safety codes, they work to educate the public on fire safety and prevention in schools, the community, and corporate functions, and at their four stations themselves. Milpitas Fire also oversees programs such as the Plan Check Review Division and the Fire and Life Safety Inspection and Enforcement Program, and takes part in the county's Safe Surrender Baby Law. Additionally, it offers an Explorer program for local youth to get interested in firefighting and emergency response career. I'd like to recognize Milpitas Fire Chief Brian Sherrard.
Well, thank you and good evening to everyone. And I want to give a special thanks to Senator Wieckowski for inviting us to participate in this event tonight. And as the fire chief, it's my honor to represent the men and women of the Milpitas Fire Department and accept this award on their behalf and on behalf of the city and our city leadership team. Without the support of our council, our city manager, Steve McCarris, and the support of IFF Local 1699, we would not be able to do what we do and provide the high levels of customer service that we do on a daily basis, and focus on programs such as prevention, public education, emergency preparedness, and effective emergency response. So it is with great honor that I accept this award on behalf of all the great men and women here in the Milpitas Fire Department. Thank you, Senator.
Thank you, Milpitas. Now, the San Jose Fire Department is responsible for serving California's third largest city and the surrounding unincorporated areas, responding to 91,000 service calls among the 1.2 million residents. San Jose Fire's 35 fire stations is certainly a high volume and high performance department. Their major facilities that they cover include 2 airports, 7 major hospitals, the SAP Center, and San Jose State, just to name a few. San Jose Fire oversees several safety-related bureaus, including its Fire Communication Division, and serves as a secondary 911 answering point when other departments are overwhelmed. I would now like to recognize San Jose Fire Chief Robert Sepadian Jr.
Thank you, Senator Wieckowski. It is an honor to accept this this resolution on behalf of all the men and women of the San Jose Fire Department, including all of our sworn firefighters, dispatchers, fire prevention inspectors and engineers, and our administrative personnel. San Jose Fire Department is a lean organization in terms of staffing that seems to rise to the occasion of every emergency and disaster that comes our way. We measure workload in many ways, and in fiscal year 2021, there's a number that jumped out to me, and that was 459,903 hours of extra work that our personnel had to put in. That's an equivalent of 157 extra people coming to work to get the job done amidst the challenges that COVID brought and the extraordinary fire seasons that we've had over the last couple of years. So it is with great pride and honor that I accept this award. Thank you.
No, thank you, Chief Sepan. Now, our final honoree fire district is Santa Clara Fire, and it was established in 1854 as the Columbia Hose Volunteer Fire Company, and today has 10 fire stations with 8 engines, 2 trucks, 2 ambulances, and a hazardous materials unit, and 1 command vehicle. The 180 personnel and 60 volunteer reserve firefighters are actively engaged in protection of life and property in the city, providing emergency services to those who work, live, and visit Santa Clara. Now, responding to more than 9,000 emergency calls annually, Santa Clara Fire also provides non-emergency services to reduce property damage and the interruption of business, along with 60,000 hours of training for the department's members and the community. Their wide array of public service programs exemplifies the dedication and professionalism of Santa Clara's firefighters, many of whom volunteer for important causes while off duty. I'd now like to recognize Santa Clara Fire Chief Ruben Torres.
Thank you, Senator. It truly is an honor to be recognized by you, and thank you. I just want to say on behalf of the men and women of the Santa Clara Fire Department, we truly are humbled by the recognition and this resolution that we received from your staff and from yourself. It wouldn't be possible to do what we do without the leadership from our city council and our honorable mayor, Gilmore, who started the session today. And then also I want to recognize our city manager, who continues to provide us with the support and the needs that we have, and our local President Pascual from Local 1171. I want to thank him also. But thank you again for the recognition. We are true to our mission. One of our mottos in the city of Santa Clara, or at least the city of Santa Clara's fire department, is service without limits. And this last year really tested that motto. And I'm just proud of the organization because they did rise to live up to the motto of service without limits. Again, thank you, Senator, for this resolution.
So there you go, folks. These departments serve our ever-growing, dynamic, and diverse district. They provide advanced life support, fire suppression, hazardous waste response, urban and water search and rescue, disaster preparedness, outreach, and education. As we've seen in this year and many in the past, they also step up to help departments throughout the state and country when the disasters strike. So please join me in recognizing our Community Partner of the Year, the fire departments of the 10th Senate District. Bravo. Now I would like to ask Hayward Council Member Aisha Wahad to introduce our final honoree this evening. Aisha?
Thank you. I first want to say thank you to Senator Wieckowski. Our chief was a little bit busy, but he sends his thanks. The entire department sends their thanks to you for this recognition. They are deeply grateful and honored. On top of that, I have the pleasure to introduce our next awardee. The Afghan Coalition was formed in 1996 as a community organization dedicated to strengthening Afghan families, improving access to social services, and building a strong and unified Afghan American community in the San Francisco Bay Area. Located in Fremont, the Afghan Coalition is the largest Afghan American organization in the United States, serving more than 1,000 community members per year. Bilingual and bicultural advocates bridge the cultural and linguistic gaps for immigrant women, children, and families, while also connecting them with financial and social services. The Afghan Coalition offers programs such as the Afghan Wellness Project, youth leadership and tutoring, community trainings, immigration assistance, domestic violence counseling, medical and mental health services, and English literacy classes, among many others. This year, the United States military withdrawal from Afghanistan led to many families seeking refuge right here in the 10th Senate District. Naturally, the Afghan Coalition is stepping up once again to assist families going through sudden and life-changing experiences with vital services and assistance in ensuring all family members are safe and secure in these trying times. The Afghan Coalition embodies the ideals of the Unity Award, those who are bringing our vast diversity of culture together to understand and support one another, not just this year, but for the past 25 years. Please join me in recognizing the 10th Senate District's Unity Award honoree, the Afghan Coalition.
Do we have remarks or representative?
We have Wade John. I think he's muted.
Oh, Wade.
Muting myself. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Aisha John, for your introduction for the Afghan Coalition. My warmest greetings to our dear Senator Bob Wieckowski, our all panelists and all the audience that watching this memorable event tonight. This is a special night for myself, for Afghan Coalition, and for the Afghan community for receiving this award and this resolution. And I really thank again Senator Bob Wieckowski and all the other leaders, and especially the leaders from the city of Fremont and Hayward for supporting this. As Aisha said, actually I have this, I don't know why, I mean, it's not coming on the video. Oh, it's right here. So the background is somehow, okay, my background is actually the resolution that we received. So it's a little bit larger than, but because I'm in Washington, DC, so I don't have the actual resolution. So they sent me a picture of that. And the reason that I'm in Washington, DC is just to, as Aisha said, the event that happened in Afghanistan the past 2 months, and with the takeover of Afghanistan by Taliban, which caused hundreds of thousands of new refugees, and a lot of them came to the United States. So Afghan Coalition is really tirelessly helping. There was a event that round table, which was by the ARNB for their support, and for actually also the State Department and U.S. Immigration Services, and also organizations such as IRC and Catholic Charities and others. So the Afghan Coalition was honored to be in this round table. And why? Because we are helping the community for the past 25 years. And the Afghan Coalition by itself, actually, the form in the basis of the unity. Several organizations 25 years ago came together to form the Afghan Coalition. So the unity started from then, and then it continued. So after September 11, actually, we championed a program called Interfaith, which our very, our board member, Bruce Green, was champion of that. So that was Interfaith, bringing several religions together as a unity. So yeah, we are tirelessly working for the community for the past 25 years, and we are really honored by this resolution, and really appreciate that. So this is a very memorable night for us. And Rona Popal, our co-executive, I'm a co-founder of the Afghan Coalition, me and Rona. So she is out of the country, and she also express her gratitude for this, and all our board members, including Aisha, which is here tonight by herself. So she's a very important part of the community and part of the coalition. Thank you, Senator.
Well, our prayers are with you, and our hope is with you also. So that does it. I'd like to thank all of you who joined us tonight and participated. I look forward to Scotland, but then I look forward to getting back to work for you in Sacramento as soon as possible. Good night, everybody, and have a safe and happy holidays.